So, this is the after session DM commentary. And just going to review the session that we just had here in Boston Vamp. Overall, I thought it was a fairly good session. We had some people who were kind of all doing their different things, so it seemed to go a little slower than maybe what I'd normally like to see in terms of the involvement. It's a lot more fun when you can have multiple people in the group engaged in the same activity. Fortunately, we had some meetings that involved different people, but usually it was always just one person kind of talking and speaking up. Initially, my first moment of terror in the session was when DJ's character, Whitey, there basically was ready to pass off the whole Sabat storyline. I had plans to involve the group potentially in that whole storyline, and when he was just basically said, "Hey, I don't want anything to do with the whole blood hunt thing," it was a moment of terror. Said prepped a lot of stuff for that, but fortunately, it seems like the group went back into it, got enticed perhaps by the opportunity to get a gen bump out of the whole blood hunt thing. Maybe the loss of status amongst our Tremere member also had some impact upon that. Of course, the presence of the only martial member of the group would also direct us towards that as well. But yeah, overall, a series of interesting meetings and clearing up sort of little loose ends that have been left over from the last couple meetings. We threw out a couple bones there in terms of different storylines. The story of the Malkavian who's missing in action. We'll see how the group responds to that. We also have the task from the Salubri. And another curious decision, too. After so much effort to basically return the sheriff to action and keep him alive, the group basically offered him up to this relatively random Salubri, who, although seems to be a good person and responsible, still, the amount of effort and risk that they took to see the sheriff survive and come back out and then they just pass him off to the next guy was an interesting choice. I didn't expect that. I thought there'd be more interest in making sure that his recovery was supervised and that everything went well. So, a little curious decision there. Otherwise, though, I'm looking forward to the next session. I think we ended off at a good point there with a potential fight coming up, which will be a good opportunity to test out the combat system, see how these characters respond under a little bit of pressure. So we'll hopefully see you all next session and see how it goes.